okay, I'm going to get back into it this week, back to 3 times a week in the gym, back to riding the bike 20 hours. And the lofty goal didn't work for me. It was nice to have a North Star goal. Yes, I want a podium in national championships. I want a podium in this race. To set it and then put it away. But then practically to make much smaller goals. Because when the threshold for action was so big, it was just like, oh, that's so big, it's so scary, and it's so far away. I'm just going to do nothing. But when the goal was absolutely minuscule, like my goal today is to find my shoes for tomorrow. The threshold for taking action is so easy that I almost can't fail on that. What's the theory behind setting big goals or setting small goals, or how should we balance those two?
So I'm much more, I love what you're doing, because what the small goals that you're talking about is habit formation, is setting something that eventually becomes a habit in many respects. And when you achieve those seemingly small goals, you'd want to pair that with being really excited about achieving it. So you want to have your back, you want to kind of celebrate like a wild person, like nobody else would understand. But what that does is
shoes.
Yeah, right. But what that does is it pairs like this foot in the door, this momentum. It pairs that momentum towards the next thing with enjoyment and fun and excitement and dopamine in particular. So like you want to try to be clever with your neurochemistry, your psychology, and your behaviors. If you get all three of those working in favor, great. And so the small little goals there is interesting because they start to turn into habits because our body wants to do stuff that is associated with pleasure and some sort of reward. So you can artificially create that reward by the celebration I'm talking about. I'm much more interested in goals that are 100% under my control. And that the art of knowing how to set a goal that's 100% your responsibility and 100% in your control is a very important part of the art of the science of goal setting. So goals that serve with more potency and power are ones that are 100% under our control.
Interesting. So if I am looking to get started now, I'm a listener on this podcast, I finished this podcast, and I want to take one positive action towards achieving this idea of consistent motivation, what would be that first step you would take?
Okay. First step is to be very clear about the feelings that you want to have more often in your life.